The confirmed number of new coronavirus cases reported in Los Angeles County in the last 24 hours is 2,024, with 50 additional deaths. Here in Torrance, 39 additional cases were reported with no new deaths. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Leslie Robbins. It's Monday, September 13th. COVID-19 case rates continue to decline in Los Angeles County. For the third week in a row, the county has seen a decrease by nearly 50% since mid-August, when COVID cases peaked at 204 cases per 100,000 residents. Public health officials say the decrease may be credited due to the masking requirements implemented early in the surge, as well as the increase in vaccinations in various parts of the county. They also say the Delta variant now accounts for 100% of the COVID-19 strains seen among samples tested in Los Angeles County. It is considered a highly infectious and more easily transmittable strain. It has also been the culprit behind breakthrough cases where fully vaccinated people are getting infected. As of September 7th, among the more than 5.3 million fully vaccinated people in LA County, 43,598 of them tested positive for COVID-19. This is less than 1% of all those vaccinated, with just under a quarter of 1% hospitalized. Public health officials continue to urge the public to get vaccinated, as those who have not received a shot remain 4 times more likely to get COVID-19 than those who are fully vaccinated. President Joe Biden announced several executive orders last week, new measures that could get more than 100 million additional Americans vaccinated. Biden ordered that all federal workers and contractors, along with large employers in the private sector, require their workforce to get vaccinated or require weekly testing. Speaking at the White House on Thursday, President Biden criticized the tens of millions of Americans who are not yet vaccinated, despite months of availability and incentives, saying the unvaccinated minority could cause a lot of damage. The expansive rules mandate that all employers with more than 100 workers require them to be vaccinated or test weekly for the virus. This would impact close to 80 million people. And the roughly 17 million workers at healthcare facilities that receive federal Medicare and Medicaid support would also have to be fully vaccinated. And President Biden is requiring employees of the executive branch and contractors who do business with the federal government to do the same, covering millions of more workers. Currently, more than 208 million Americans got at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. The U.S. is seeing about 300% more new COVID-19 infections a day, about 2.5 times more hospitalizations, and nearly twice the number of deaths compared to this time last year. Nearly 80 million people remain unvaccinated. The Los Angeles Unified School District became the first major K-12 system in the country to mandate COVID-19 vaccinations for all eligible students. Last week, the LA Board of Educators held a special meeting to vote on the measure, passing with broad support. So, what does this mean now? Well, moving forward, LAUSD students 12 and older without qualified and approved exemptions must receive their first vaccine dose by November 21st and their second dose by December 19th in order to begin the next semester fully inoculated. Students who participate in extracurricular activities such as sports have an even shorter deadline. They must be fully vaccinated by the end of October. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention currently recommends anyone over the age of 12 to get the COVID-19 vaccine. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is expected to authorize the shot for kids ages 5 to 11 later this year. LAUSD is the second largest school district in the U.S., serving more than 600,000 students. On the eve of the gubernatorial recall election, voters can cast their ballot early, with more than 250 early voting centers now open throughout LA County. Tomorrow's recall election will decide whether California Governor Gavin Newsom will be replaced by any one of the 46 candidates running against him. Now, while there have been previous attempts to recall Newsom, this is the first challenge to actually get on the ballot. The election will also be the second recall election for a governor in California state history. The first took place in 2003 when Democratic Governor Greg Davis was in office and was replaced by Republican Arnold Schwarzenegger. You can also find a mail-in ballot drop box adjacent to the Katie Geisert Civic Center Library. For more information, go to lavote.net. Californians will get another round of Golden State stimulus checks this week. This will be the second round for eligible residents. According to the Franchise Tax Board, the first round of nearly 600,000 checks worth an estimated $354 million were deposited into bank accounts at the end of August. Eligible residents include people who made less than $75,000 in 2020. They could receive up to $600 with an additional $500 reserved for those who claim at least one dependent. Some Social Security recipients may also be eligible for a second round check as long as Social Security is not their only form of income and earn less than $75,000 a year. This next round is expected to be much larger than the first, amounting to about 2 million payments. Payments are expected to be dispersed every 2 weeks for the duration of the program. In all, a total of $12 billion in direct payments is expected to go out to eligible state residents, with roughly 2 out of every 3 Californians expected to receive a check. This weekend marked a milestone anniversary, 20 years since the tragic events occurred on U.S. soil on September 11th.
September 11th changed the way we view life, understanding how brief it can be. It changed the way we look at our neighbors, recognizing the importance of being a compassionate community member.
Their sacrifice calls us to action today. May we climb up to meet our highest calling in service to each other.
Usually we have a small ceremony at Station 1 where I bring out all our firefighters, and we have a little memorial there and we place a wreath. Last year we were not able to do that because we're in the middle of a pandemic. So having the opportunity this year on the 20th anniversary to pause and reflect and see the community come out and support this event is especially is very special.
City leaders honored the lives lost on 9/11 early Saturday morning. Dozens of Torrance residents got up early as well to pay their respects to the victims from that tragic day. Over at Seaside Heroes Park, a couple of teens organized the planting of nearly 3,000 flags, one for every person who was killed by the 9/11 attacks.
This did happen 2 years before I was born. Yeah, I think that makes it almost more important though. It's hard for us as people who weren't alive to understand how it shaped America and how it shaped the world around us. And so to be able to do this and to have people who were alive at the time come up to me and have these conversations, these really serious conversations about where they were and how it affected them and how it affected the country. Last year, I can tell you, I cried so many times. It rocked my foundation. It changed who I was fundamentally to get to have the honor of putting on this project, because it was so changing for these people, and I think that just as a person, it's changing for me to hear about it.
Pitchkey says this is the second time she co-organized this event. Community members came out to volunteer their time as well. Some even brought food and water throughout the day. Also on Saturday, the Torrance Little League All-Star Parade took place, followed by a special ceremony.
I've had the great privilege to actually broadcast the Little League World Series. And it's hands down one of the greatest events I've ever been a part of. So congratulations to you guys.
What is one memory you will take away from your time at LAUSD?
Probably just how our whole team came together and created this one bond that if you're part of any team, you can never forget that, or else you're not really a team.
Family members, friends, and a lot of notable dignitaries gathered at the Torrance Little League field to celebrate these young athletes making it all the way to the 2021 Little League World Series. The All-Stars received much deserved attention and praise from the community after a valiant effort to bring home the World Series trophy. They may not have won the top title, but they are already champions in our hearts. Congratulations, Torrance Little League. Well, before we go, at the end of each program, we like to share feel-good stories from our community. Pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. A group of Torrance residents gathered at Hickory Park to remember their dear friend, John Wenkes.
He was on the first plane, the Flight 11, that hit the, I believe it was the North Tower. He was coming back from Boston, back to his home here in Torrance. John had just turned 46 the week before. He would be 66 today. Real hard to lose somebody that way. You never think it could happen to you, you know. But it did.
Every year since his passing, John's neighbors have come out to Hickory Park on 9/11 to just sit together and keep his memory alive. To commemorate the 20th anniversary this year, Judy Radecki ordered shirts and brought lots of food. She hopes other neighbors will visit John at Hickory Park. They planted a tree 1 year after John's untimely death and placed a plaque by a picnic bench nearby so more people can learn about him. What a thoughtful way to show how Torrance truly cares. Now, if you have a great story, upcoming event, a photo or video you'd like to share, email us please at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that is our update for COVID-19 today. We will see you back here tomorrow as Rhiannon Trutanich brings you the latest. Please be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time.